right, and we're back, and look who's here. Look who's joining me. Look who's finally back.
I finally found the place.
Yeah. Eric finally found the place. I haven't seen you in a minute. Like, we talked once during our brother's Pañaliza, but I haven't seen you. How have you been?
Good. Well,
We'll talk about it.
yeah,
Whatever. We'll talk about that later. Right now we're going to break down, as you know, recently I went to Japan for like a month. Eric was with me. So we're going to break that down. Welcome to the newest episode of SDW.
Super Dario World!
Alright, so before I forget, a few things we need to get out of the way. First off, Eric really screwed me. Because I remember last week I said that I'm going to try to, air these things, do these live at 7 p.m. on Tuesdays. Today's Tuesday, and I was planning on doing it at 7 p.m., but it turns out that Eric crossed the border today, so I was like, hey, come over and we'll record a podcast, and I told him 7, he said, sure. Then all of a sudden, Mr. Businessman here, all of a sudden is like, hey, I got a business call, could we postpone it? I gotta do some serious business, and so now we're doing it here. So, sorry about that, I swear, I was ready. I was even going to talk about something else, completely different, but came out of nowhere, and you know what? I missed the kid. I haven't seen him in a minute.
I just said, fuck the people. They can wait.
Fuck the people. Yeah. So, before we forget, like, subscribe, everything at Super Dario World. Eric tells me I have to do that now. And
That's a good idea.
Yeah, on YouTube.
I am a business person.
It really helps out. And like I said, we're going to be breaking down the trip, but before we do that, let me just give you a quick reminder. Actually, no, an announcement. The Book Summary Podcast is back. Yay! Ooh. Yeah, I just did Chapter 5 of Avatar: The Last Airbender, The Promise. So if you want to check that out, basically, I give you a summary of the comic so you don't have to read it. And I learned that making a summary of a comic is way harder than making a summary of a book. So I thought I was doing something the easy way. Turns out I screwed myself over. Story of my life. Yeah. And eventually I'll move on to other stories, like I'm going to do Harry Potter, I'm going to do Lord of the Rings, I'm going to do Game of Thrones, all that stuff. But, I got to start somewhere. And it's been painful to do it. It's like 4 hours per chapter. But, 4 hours of work. But I like it. I enjoy doing it. Check it out. It helps me out. So like, subscribe, that too. And let's get into what were you going to say?
Oh, are you describing, like, the pictures?
No.
Because I could see that being difficult. Be like, all right, so picture this. Like, Katara's doing this really cool attack here. All right, let's be realistic. Not Katara.
No, of course not. No, but some things you need to decide what's important in every frame that you need to describe. And you can't go too specific. You can't go too much into detail about the dialogue because you get sued. And there's copyright stuff. So it's an art form. Like, if it's just words, you can just chop off the word. Anything that's just fluff, like the color of the curtains were blue. But it's not necessary. However, when you're doing it with a comic book, it's a little bit more difficult because you need to specify who's where and why they're there or what they're doing. If it's important. If it's not important, whatever. Also, if it's Avatar's kind of like a funny, it's lighthearted. It's kind of a comedy, and so
a lot of the comedy is visual too.
Yeah, so you kind of have to throw those things in there too, so it doesn't lose. So people who know the show still have the charm of the show, and they, it motivates them to actually read the comic, which is my goal in this entire thing. I want people to read more so that I can talk to them about it, or at least now they know the stories, and I can talk to them about it. So there you go.
And they can pretend that they read it to their friends.
Exactly. That's actually the major thing. So, anyway.
I noticed that we're going to have a huge problem during this podcast today.
Your personality.
That's usually a problem, yes.
Sure.
But I've grown used to it. Uh-huh. The big problem is I'm not used to talking on this side.
I'm not surprised. Like, if there was anything that was going to be an issue for you, I assumed it would be that.
I'm always on the other one. I don't know what to do here.
You want us to switch?
Not now. I'm not gonna bitch out.
I gave you the nice chair.
Is it?
Yeah, that's the gaming chair. This is like the business chair, man.
Ooh, I'm a gamer now.
Yeah, well, if it makes you feel better, this won't stay here forever. Because eventually I'm gonna get a couch back there,
Ooh.
And so we'd be recording, but we'd be sitting there, we'd be chilling.
Oh, that'd be great.
We'd be chilling.
All right, I'm leaving until that happens.
Oh yeah, we'll be back. I won't do any football stuff. There's a lot of football stuff to talk about.
There's a
but
lot.
Anyway, not what we're going to talk about this time. Today we're talking about Japan.
Let's
all right?
go
Japan,
to the land of the
Japan.
rising sun.
So actually, let's do full screen. So
Yeah.
the people can enjoy it, visually enjoy it. So right now, what you're looking at right here is called Shinjuku. This is the area where we stayed when we were in Japan. Like I arrived at Japan by myself for a week. I was there for a week by myself, and I stayed in Shinjuku, which turns out it's kind of like the criminal area of Japan. But if you look closely at this picture, you can see Godzilla's there too. So
he's looking out for you.
yeah, he's got your back. Like, look at there, right there. I mean,
Love that guy.
Who doesn't feel safe with Godzilla looking over them?
Also, Japanese Puss in Boots.
He's so beautiful. There's hookers everywhere, all over the place.
There's probably like 15 in just that clip.
Sure, that picture, like at least 20. And it's funny because, well, when Eric got there, we just kept debating amongst ourselves, like, is that just a girl on her phone or is that a hooker? Because they don't promote themselves.
Oh my god.
That's a problem. Eric was pissed.
Don't make me get into the whole spiel on their bad marketing.
It's terrible.
The product, fantastic. They're not getting the people.
World-class product.
Top tier.
Exactly.
Phenomenal stuff.
Problem is, they're not good at selling stuff.
God damn.
It's really weird. Honestly, it's really weird.
Listen,
But
if you're gonna be a whore, at least be a good one. Please, come on. Otherwise, it just makes me sad.
honestly, yes, it's depressing. But anyway.
And good whores don't have to work that much because they become more expensive.
So before we get into this whole thing, first, a little bit of context. This would have been Eric's third trip to Japan, if I'm not mistaken.
It
Number
was.
3. All right, it was your third trip to Japan.
Yes.
All right. Because his previous third trip got canceled by a little thing you called COVID. You guys might have missed it. It happened, and it took a while for Japan locked up. It took a while for them to open up. It
took a while for them to notice that it ended.
Yeah, it opened up, and so Eric was like, I'm going to fucking Japan. And we were like, well, the tickets are pretty cheap. We'll go with you. And I can work from anywhere. So I'll go there a week by myself, and I'll just work and live in Japan. Now...
Yeah, we bought them in freaking...
November, I think. October.
Late October, I think.
Like,
it wasn't officially open yet.
But they'd announced that they were gonna open.
Yeah.
So we got it for like $700 round trip. It was beautiful.
And by the time we were going to fly, it was more than double that.
Yeah, easily. So we got cheap tickets. We're ready to go. I decided I'm gonna work over there because I can work remote. And let me tell you something. It was brutal. Brutal because I had to keep the hours from over here, which meant that I had to wake up at 1 a.m. to go to work. And then I ended my shift at around 9:30 a.m. Kind of. So my schedule was really, really fucked up. Now, it wasn't that terrible because I could, let's say, I work from 1, I get off at 9:30, I can go to bed, and then wake up at like 5 o'clock, and I have all the afternoon or night. Or I could keep doing stuff, go to bed early, and wake up. So it wasn't really that terrible, to be honest. And it would have given me the same amount of free hours that if I would have been over here. So let's say, for example, normally you sleep, let's say, from midnight to 8. You work from 9 to 5. So you have from 5 to 10 p.m. to do whatever you want. I kind of had the same schedule. It's just, it was kind of fucked up because, sometimes I did stuff during the day. Sometimes I did stuff during the night. But I kept a pretty regular schedule. And that schedule is probably the healthiest I've ever been in my entire life. Let me tell you. Because I woke... Let me see if I have a picture here of the breakfast that I had every day. I don't know. Like, these are just images of Shinjuku. Like, it's...
No, that's...
I don't know. This is... Yeah.
Is it? Yeah.
This is Shinjuku. This is Godzilla Road. Right there. This is Akihabara. So, why am I doing the small one?
Akihabara.
All right. So, I got off work, and I traveled around, Tokyo. And be like, what's over here? The food in Akihabara, man. The food everywhere, really. But Akihabara specific, all the sweets, it's like 10,000 calories just walking down a hallway. Like, seriously. Like, just you walk down the wrong road, you just ate 10,000 calories, and you loved it. So...
Luckily, you'll walk off those calories.
Again, I got off work at 10 a.m., so I'm in Akihabara at 10 a.m. So these are... Some of the places aren't even open, and there's people there already, like, doing stuff, taking pictures of a building, which is weird.
I mean, you avoided most of the traffic there.
Yeah, true, but still. Then I went to an owl cafe because you guys know I'm famous for loving owls. Famously an owl lover over here. And, I had some fun with that.
How dare you say that in slapping range?
I cut this one wrong. Let me see if I can.
That looks gross.
You're gross.
I don't like that.
Yeah, damn it. I'm going to have issues with the pictures here. So I just went around traveling the station. Look at how clean this is. Japan's really clean. It's really clean. It's very beautiful.
Also, you know what that train was?
What?
On time.
Yes, always on time. This is Shibuya Crossing, which is the busiest street crossing in the entire world. Again, like I said, I was just touristing around all over Tokyo by myself. It was great, phenomenal. Oh, this was the complimentary breakfast at my hotel. So, picture this. I get up at 1 a.m. to work. I around 6, 7 go to have some breakfast. This is what I have for breakfast. And after that, I go back to work. When I'm done with that, maybe in the afternoon, I go across the street to a place called Family Mart, which would be kind of like a 7-Eleven, that has the greatest chicken in the world. And I'm not kidding. Greatest fried chicken in the world. I don't know what they put on that. If they put heroin, I believe it. Because it's great. Now, on the first trip that we went to Japan, it was like, this is phenomenal. This is like the greatest chicken ever. So the second time I go, this is my second time going there.
I was ready for disappointment.
I was like, is it really as good as I remember? Is it really? Did I romanticize it?
Nostalgia goggles.
Yeah. Am I imagining it? And when you go and you take that first bite and the juices just explode in your mouth.
Fuck off. I don't have the money to go back right now.
It's like, you're just as beautiful as the day I lost you. Oh my God. Everybody asks me, what's my favorite part about Japan? That fucking chicken. Because it's consistently great. Every single Family Mart. It's cheap. It's like $1. So if you ever go to Japan, go to Family Mart, get their fucking chicken. It's delicious. It's beyond delicious. It's phenomenal. And look at this. Look at this spread. Every single thing in this plate is delicious, except maybe the tofu.
Tofu's fine. I don't think I would have been the biggest fan of the one that's right next to it.
Like what, this?
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. Is that potato?
Me neither. I just ate it. And it was good. But you know the best, this piece of fish right here.
So good.
It was so good. Anyway, the point is, pales in comparison to the freaking Family Mart chicken. So whatever. So this is my breakfast. I go in, I have like a light Family Mart chicken lunch, and then for dinner I go and explore the city. You go and find some stuff. So I did that for a week. It was great. I went to all the touristy spots. I saved some things that I knew that that my travel companions were gonna do as well. So I was going with my kid brother Eric, who's right here. This guy, our sister Dina was gonna join us, and my girlfriend. So they were gonna arrive later. And so I was like, all right, I'll save some stuff for when they come here. And that's why I ended up doing the owl thing by myself, because apparently nobody else likes owls but me.
Famously.
Whatever. Yeah, famously. So they lose. So that's when Eric arrived. Eric arrived a few days before the girls did. And basically, the bros just hung out. We just got into trouble. We just, painted the town red. Is that it?
Yeah, we took pictures with flowers.
Yeah, actually, we were very excited because at this point, I've been there for a week. This is early March. And so we know that Sakura season, for those of you, or cherry blossom season, as they're known over here, starts around middle of March to the end of March. So that's peak travel season. That's when everything gets super expensive. We were there before that because, we're cheap. Also, Eric had school, and that was kind of like his vacation time.
That was spring break.
So I was really, really nervous that we weren't going to get to see the Sakuras. Fortunately, we did. So this is early in the trip again. Eric got there. We're walking down this random park that we randomly decided to go to because we were going to Akihabara, but the park was in the opposite direction. I don't know why we went there. Do you remember we went there? What a park?
I think it was literally, we just wanted to go to a random ass park that day.
All right, yeah.
Because it's like, we're going to go to Akihabara eventually.
Yeah.
So might as well look at a different spot.
Yeah.
Take a different route.
Sure, and we did, and we ended up finding this park and 1 or 2 cherry blossom trees almost in full bloom, and it was like, great. So at least I know I have this one. So I checked that one off the list. I'm happy. So far my list is looking pretty good. I've gone to Akihabara. I've eaten a lot of Family Mart chicken. I got to see the cherry blossoms. In my list, there were a few things still that I wanted to do. The biggest one in that list is I wanted to see Mount Fuji. Because for those of you who don't know, Mount Fuji is famously shy. It's shy.
He's a shy little slut.
Yeah, he doesn't like to be seen. People have spent months in Japan and haven't seen Mount Fuji once. And it's right in the middle of everything. And so I was nervous. Last time we went, we didn't get to see it. Honestly, we didn't really try that hard. But it's one of those things, like, it's usually, there's a lot of cloud cover. So I was like, all right, the big thing here that I want, there's a lot of stuff I want to do. I want to go to Super Nintendo World. I want to go, pet some deer. But I wanted to see Mount Fuji. That was the biggest thing on my to-do list. And in our itinerary, we specifically planned a stay near a lake, near Mount Fuji, so we could see it. So that's the biggest thing. So I got the Sakuras out of the way pretty early. So I got the chicken out of the way really early and pretty much every day. But the big thing in the agenda here is Mount Fuji. Eric, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I think I'd only seen it on the bullet train from Kyoto to Tokyo, I believe, because you go right past Fuji. But to me, the funny thing throughout the whole, once we actually got to Fuji, was people they kept asking me,
wait, we'll get to Fuji when we get to Fuji.
All right, fine, go ahead.
All right, so again, we're just hanging out, being fools, messing around. I gotta change this. Because this, why does it get so freaking, I'm just going to do this real quick. Let me see.
I wanted to hurt that bear.
You wanted murder. You came there with murder in your heart.
I like how these pictures reflect how fucking tired I was.
Well, of course.
Because goddamn, that's a long fucking flight.
That it is a long fucking flight. So I think that's a little bit better. Sure?
Yeah, there we go.
There you go. You get to see a little bit more of us. So yeah, we were just messing around, being stupid. We found this, actually, it's pretty interesting. We found this kind of like artsy gallery place. It's right underneath train tracks. And the shocking part is that you don't feel the train.
Not at all.
We were underneath the train track. Trains went right up above us. And we didn't feel it. It's crazy. It's really bizarre.
Engineers, man.
Like right there. You can see this. There's like a little market right here. There's everything. These are train tracks. There's the art thing is somewhere in the middle here, and you don't feel the train. It's crazy. It's madness. I don't know what the hell kind of engineering magic they do over there.
Part. There it is.
That loser right there. All right, so we checked out a bunch of
I see a winner right here.
Educational facilities in Japan.
Cultural.
We went to see
exchange.
some culture stuff. We seduced some locals.
Met some of the locals.
Yeah, some celebrities. And basically we just had some fun. Just hung out, the boys.
Being silly.
Now, I don't have any pictures of this, but I'll just go back to the one with me and Eric. Eric arrived on my birthday. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
And so we decided to go out. Now, Eric was dead. He was dead. And so
I didn't sleep a wink.
And I had to work at 1 a.m. So we figured it's going to be like a chill night, but it's a Friday. We have to go out. It's Friday. We're in Shinjuku. This is like
the birthday.
This is like the party zone of Japan. And so
I was like the only one who was with him on the actual birthday. So
yeah, he was the only one who was actually on my birthday there. And so we go out, we have this dinner, it's fine, and we start looking around for bars. And one Japanese dude approaches us, he's like, hey dude, for 3,000 yen, which is like $30, maybe less than $30, I'll get you all you can drink for, was it an hour?
I think so.
Yeah, and we were like, man, don't.
You're making a mistake.
Don't tempt me, Frodo. You don't know who you're messing with. We're not Japanese people.
No.
We're Mexicans. Just to put, to put a finer point on this point, or I don't know what the expression I'm looking for is, but that's the wrong one. Earlier, while I was by myself, I met a group of Japanese dudes, and I was having a drink at a bar, and we started talking, and one of them was like, hey, so, how much do you drink before you get drunk? And I was like, I don't know, because I ordered one of the big pints, it was my second big pint, and they're like, oh, well, how much do you drink? I was like, I don't know, maybe like to get drunk, I'd say like at least 10 beers or something, maybe. And they were shocked. They were like, like, well, how much do you need? He's like, 1 beer and I'm drunk. And I'm like, oh my God, I hate you. You save so much freaking money.
They're so efficient.
Oh my God, I wish I could do that. And you probably don't even get hungover because what? You don't get dehydrated with one.
Probably not.
I know, but the point is, this dude was offering us all we could drink for an hour, and this is Japanese service, so it's pretty quick, for $30. I was really tempted, but again, I had to work, so I was like, all right, no, we won't do it.
He bitched out.
And also, Eric was dead, and so we decided.
Oh, don't put it on me. I was
Eric
gonna
was
drink.
dead. He's a tired lad. He's very tired. Anyway,
I would have gone.
so we decided to walk around, and we wanted to go see some music, right? And so we walk around and we find this bar that says music bar. And we go in, and for those of you who've never been to Japan, their bars, some of them are hidden in buildings. There's a sign outside, or there's a sign like way up on a window or something, but they're kind of hidden in apartment buildings. So you enter like an apartment building, and one of the apartments is turned into a bar. So we go.
And these are not big apartments.
No, we go into this apartment with this building. We find the right door. We open it, and imagine
this room.
Yeah, imagine this room if half of it was covered in instruments. And I mean a drum set, so many, like a dozen guitars, speakers. Then there's kind of like
He had a pedal board.
Yeah, there's a bar. With behind the bar was drinks, and then like 2 small tables, and in those 2 small tables were like 3 60-year-old Japanese people, 2 males, 1 female, and so we opened.
Backwards.
No, two males, 1 female. Yeah,
There are 2 ladies there.
really.
Yeah.
So 2 males, 2 females.
Yeah. Well, the bar owner. Yeah.
Okay, so 4 people, including the owner, 2 males, 2 females. I thought it was only 1. I don't know why.
Because you were too busy talking to the guy. I was talking to the ladies.
Sure. So they're like, and they're Japanese. They could be 80 and they look 50. So we don't know.
They had young energy though.
Yeah. So they open the door, and we're like, I look at Eric and like, are we doing this? We're doing this.
Fuck it.
Yeah. Like,
we kind of give each other a look like, fuck it, this is kind of funny.
listen. This could be interesting. So
this is content.
This is content. So we go into this really like small, filled up with instruments bar with 4 old people, and we kind of just start trying to talk. And one of them mentions Eric Clapton. I mentioned, oh, my brother's name's Eric, and they decided, hey, how about if you play the guitar? So good.
Which is good.
Since your name is Eric, you must be a musician. Fortunately, he is.
And I'm like, well, I'm offended. I mean, I am a musician, but come on.
I'm better than Eric Clapton. Jesus Christ. So they lend him a guitar.
I'm not better than Eric
A
Clapton.
super nice guitar. So we're in a random bar with random strangers, and they lend him a very, very nice guitar. Do you know what type of guitar it was? Or
I don't
would you
remember.
just grab it and were like, this is expensive?
It felt expensive, yeah. It's one of those, I think it was some kind of Les Paul model, but I don't remember the type. It was a beauty.
Yeah.
And the guy even like, I thought I was just going to play like Unplugged or whatever a little bit and, just bullshit around. The guy, the bar owner, who I think was a touring musician at one point of his life.
Yeah. Like, honestly, that looked kind of like, it had the vibe of a recording studio.
Yeah.
Like, it felt like, or maybe like the green room in a recording studio or something, a jam room.
They absolutely have the capacity to record it in there.
They have way better equipment than I'll ever have. Like,
yeah.
Crazy.
And yeah, he let me plug into the pedal board. I was like fucking around with songs.
And so Eric became the entertainment for the bar.
Yeah.
Shockingly enough, we were at a music bar and there wasn't any music until Eric started playing. Did you notice that?
Now I did.
Yeah. And so afterwards, they're like, oh, well, sing us a song. And so I ended up singing with Eric. We ended up playing, what was it? Creep?
We did Radiohead Creep.
Radiohead Creep. And, it was weird. It was fun. We managed to communicate with them, which was wild, but we had a good time. Like, I did not expect anything to come out of that night. It ended up being, like, a really fun, bizarre adventure.
Appropriately.
We made some friends. I don't remember their names.
They're cool people. I go
They're
back.
nice. I honestly, I would. I don't think we could find the bar.
We'd have to go through.
It was also
We'd have to go through a lot of horse to find it.
It was also very expensive, but whatever, it was worth it. Anyway, so that was how we celebrated my birthday. And this
is how I celebrated the rest.
Yeah, the next day, I believe that's when. Oh, look at this dessert! Ooh. Look at that beauty! An Irish coffee, a Guinness, and some flan. Oof. That thing is one of the best flans I've ever had in my life.
Did I have that Irish coffee? I believe so.
I believe so. Yeah,
that's the place where you have to stand.
You know, we were sitting down.
Oh,
we got a table. Yeah. This is right next to Tokyo Station.
Yeah, this is where we were eavesdropping on people. Yeah, because we were like, I wonder how they interact. And you're like right next to like
you're
the
almost on.
tiny.
I felt I was in France. Like we were almost sitting, cheek to cheek. It was really weird, but whatever.
I felt so much like Kramer in these places because it's like. Kramer's just awkward because he's huge and he lunges. You're huge in Japan.
You are.
So
everybody's tiny.
We're like trying to like get in between tables. Like you like fall into the chair just to.
And people are really weird. They don't talk. Like they charge them for every word that they say. Apparently, yeah. And even if it's going to save their lives, like there's a bunch of times where people are on their bikes and they were about to hit somebody and they wouldn't say anything. So they would either like try to awkwardly stop or something or get into the traffic lane. I don't know, it was weird. There was a lady who was walking a tiny dog. I mean, a tiny, like 3-pound dog. She was walking it and the dog decided, I'm not moving anymore. So it just sat there and the lady started like pulling on the on the leash. She's like, come on. Like, but she wouldn't say anything. She wouldn't say like, nani, like whatever, move. But no, it was really weird. It's like, why won't you say words? Why won't you communicate? This is so bizarre.
I kind of like it. Too much communication over here.
Too much.
People talk too much. They share their opinions too much.
They have too many podcasts.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Come on, how many shows do you need?
True. Anyway, so that was our last day by ourselves, and
that's a cool picture.
This is a picture of a street near Tokyo Station, and I took it for a reason.
It's the marathon one, isn't it?
This is the marathon street. So we were in Shinjuku, Eric and me, and for when the girls arrived, we decided we're going to move near Tokyo Station. We're going to take all our stuff, and we're going to stay at a hotel near Tokyo Station, so the next day we can get up bright and early and just get out of here. We'll get on the Shinkansen, which is the bullet train, and get all the way down to Fukuoka, because here's our travel itinerary. It's pretty extensive. Like, we had a lot of stuff we wanted to do. We were starting in Tokyo. We were going to Fukuoka. That's really far south, super far south. Then we're going to move up very quickly to Hiroshima, then Osaka, quick stop in Nara, then Kyoto, then Mount Fuji, then back in Tokyo. So again, we had a lot of ground we need to cover. So
I didn't plan nothing.
Eric didn't plan nothing. So we're walking around. We have all our suitcases. I had a lot of stuff.
No, you did not have a lot of stuff. He had too much fucking stuff.
I had too much fucking stuff. All right.
He literally. My sister, once she showed up, she brought the biggest suitcase. Dario actually required that suitcase because he needed it to put his gigantic fucking bag on top of it.
It was a duffel bag that's designed to be on top of a suitcase, because it goes through the handles and stuff. Whatever. The point
wasn't his first time in Japan. He knows how fucking small it is.
I like having stuff. Anyway, I never ran out of clothes. Never. And I brought back all my fucking souvenirs. So I don't care. Point is, we were carrying our luggage and we were walking out of the station. And we are like 1 or 2 blocks away from our next hotel. And right in this fucking street, this massive street, Tokyo Marathon is going on. Now, for those of you who don't know what the Tokyo Marathon is, it's a bunch of people running like idiots across Tokyo.
Yeah, don't they know cars exist?
Idiots.
Fucking morons.
And so, as you might imagine, that means that they blocked off the street. So, here we are, idiot number uno and idiot number dos.
I'm number 1.
Trying to cross the fucking street just to leave all the stuff in the hotel, and we can't. We're stuck. We're 2 blocks away, and we're like, how far are we gonna have to go?
I can see my hotel.
I can smell it. And so we start planning, like, can we just book it? Can we just run across the street?
To which I reason, no, we can't, because Because these guys are going to catch us.
They're gonna run after us. They won't get tired.
Yeah.
We'll be in freaking Hiroshima, and they'll be like, like ah!
They're going to out-stamina us. You know it.
They made it all the way here.
This
Jesus
is what they do.
Christ. Professionally. So yeah, it was brutal. Fortunately, we ended up finding like a little tunnel underground, but we ended up walking more. It was just infuriating. I just kept looking at these people with hate. It's like, why isn't this over? Why are you doing this? Why do you run like idiots?
But anyway, we found a nice burger place.
Yeah, so we ended up having like a nice lunch, whatever. Yeah. And so that was the end of that. Next, the girls show up, right? The girls show up and we go all the way down to Fukuoka, which is like a very rural place. We end up, Fukuoka would be kind of like the state. Would you say that?
Prefecture, sure.
The prefecture, sure.
Yeah.
And we were staying in a tiny little town there, which is a very rural place. All these behind us,
this
supposedly,
is the country,
are rice fields, but you know, it's not that time of the year. There's a lot of nature around. Look at these beautiful trees. They're very long.
So gorgeous.
Beautiful. Like you could actually get lost in the forest there. It's phenomenal. It's deceptive. These things are really tall. Like really, really tall. It's really deceptive when you get in there, how easily you can get lost. So it's great.
You
very
can find
beautiful.
Like little shrines there, and you're like certain that it's gonna take you to like Spirited Away or some bullshit.
Exactly. So Fukuoka is famous for two things. One is a giant Buddha laying on its side, and a statue.
Gigantic Buddha.
Yeah. And number two, ramen. It's the ramen capital of the world. And number three, kind of not a big deal, onsens. It's basically a giant onsen. For those of you who don't know, it's a hot springs. So it's basically like a giant hot spring with ramen and a.
Oh, we're gonna talk about the ISR on, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So it's again, it's a lot of beautiful stuff, nature. We did some hikes. It was great.
I think we planned it out pretty good.
And
we knew we were gonna be tired because everybody just traveled.
Yeah.
So we figured, all right, we just got here, and in Fukuoka when we got there, the world's best host.
Oh yes.
Of all time.
Hideko-san. I
I
remember her name.
Arigatou gozaimasu, Hideko-san.
Honestly, it was an Airbnb, and we thought we were getting a house. Turns out we were staying at her house.
Yeah.
Because she kept calling it her rental house. Apparently, it means that you get like our living room that we converted into a room that you share with everybody. By everybody, I mean everybody in our group.
Yeah.
And
it was pretty big.
They also live there. So they actually take care of you.
They take care of you big time. They picked us up at the station. They drove us everywhere.
They went above and beyond.
They taught us how to make noodles.
Yeah, so this is us learning how to make udon noodles, right?
Yeah.
It's a pretty interesting process, to be honest.
Yeah, and if you do it improperly, you can make people deathly ill. This is called foreshadowing.
Anyway, the meal that ended up, because you make your own meal, basically. I mean, they do everything else. You just make the udon noodles. It was fucking delicious. Delicious.
Incredible.
Every single thing Hideko made, phenomenal. Top tier food. So, excellent customer service, excellent cuisine, excellent everything. And here's the crazy part. This woman had a broken leg. She had
a boot on.
She had a boot on, and she was taking us everywhere. She was doing everything. We tried to stop her. She wouldn't. She would not stop.
You cannot stop that woman. She's a machine.
She's a machine. She she also kept trashing her granddaughter for some reason because she got a ticket. I loved her. That woman was great.
I want to go back.
It was one of those things, like, we asked Hideko, like, randomly, like, hey, where could we find, let's say, the Buddha? Because we want to go to the Buddha before we go to the station. And she was like, we'll take you there. It's not that far. If you go to the train, it's going to be way longer, blah, blah. Actually, I'll just get there in a minute. But now, you see, there was like a little river near the house. Like, and I went out on a hike. Eric and Dina didn't, but we went out and exploring a little bit. It was very beautiful, like very, very beautiful. And so she took us to an onsen, again, a hot spring. So we went to, this is a traditional Japanese hot spring. Look at how beautiful that is. Look
we
at
had a nice
water.
strategy, because it's like, we just got here. We're kind of, jet lagged and stuff. Let's have a spa day.
Yeah.
At a freaking onsen, right?
And this was my last day of work. So we planned, they were just on a plane for 10 hours. Then we were on a train for 5 hours more.
I think it was 6.
More, yeah, 5-6 hours. I had to work again. So it's like, you know what? Let's start off with a nice relaxing
refresh,
spa. Like,
reset.
let's go to hot springs. So we go to the hot springs, and obviously I don't have any more video of the hot springs for, privacy reasons.
Not on this website.
No. And so we go into the hot spring, and it's separated boys, girls, and Eric and me get in there.
We saw so much cock.
So much Japanese cock. And so we're in there, and we brought like our swimsuits and stuff. We brought and we just look at each other and we're like, listen, here's the thing. We're Mexican. It's not in our culture to be naked around each other. We don't do like the freaking locker rooms, shower stuff. That's weird. It's really weird. And so me and Eric look at each other and we're like, are we doing this or not? And we decided, nah, we ain't doing this. We ain't doing it. I don't care about the Japanese people. I just don't want to see this guy naked.
Yeah,
ever.
It's just not a thing that needs to be
Seen
here.
No,
you know?
I don't care. I don't want it. I don't like it.
So we decided boxer briefs.
Yeah, so we were
Good enough.
We're walking around with our boxers, and so we ended up walking around and whatever, and we found this. Imagine like this giant natural jacuzzi, and we're chilling there.
Dario was like, "Let's stay inside," these, and I'm like, "You idiot!
Look at how beautiful it is outside.
Let's go outside because you want to be in an onsen where it's cold outside."
And it was kind of nippy, still kind of nippy. Again, this is early March, and so we're out there. We are, and some other dudes start joining us. Now, this was mostly older people. Like, I'd say the average age was 50 something, right?
Well, it was early in the day, and also
It was Monday.
Probably like a retirement area kind of thing.
Yeah. And so there's like an older dude, like a 60 something. He joins us in our onsen, and he starts chatting Eric up because Eric speaks a little bit of Japanese, like enough to have a conversation. And so they start having a good time. We make like a little friend there. All of a sudden, the dude decides like, all right, well, I'm done. And so he gets up, and
But he needs a little support. So he turns
gets
around.
up. So he turns around. He leans on a rock. He goes like this. I can't do it because I'm wearing headphones. The point is,
All right, fine, I'll do it.
Eric does it. So he gets up.
Okay.
See, now you can't do it.
No, I
See,
can.
now you look like an idiot.
I'm gonna look even better now.
Yeah. So he gets up, right there, presenting the Eye of Sauron right in our faces. So we're like, I could have gone my entire life without seeing something so horrible. Like, I've seen enough of Japan at this point. I'm done.
We have explored this culture plenty.
How could you just present yourself that way?
Right there, Fred.
Right in our faces.
It was one of those.
It was one of those. Ah! Like,
Where immediately the both of us, because we were just talking with this guy.
Yeah.
So we're both looking at him. We're like sitting side by side like right now, and both of us immediately. That was not a necessary thing in my life.
why? Why would you do that, friendly Japanese man?
So much cock.
I've never seen so much cock in my life.
The whole time we were like, man, I'm so jealous of the girls right now.
So we leave the sausage fest, and we meet up with the girls, and we asked them like, hey, how was the onsen? And they were like, we didn't go in. We're like, what? Yeah, we didn't go into the water. We just grabbed a massage or something. We didn't go into the room. We're like, why? It's like, and they were like, well, because you have to be naked. And we're like, no, you don't. We didn't do it. It's like, no, there's a sign that says you have to be naked. You can't wear any clothes because, of the water and shit, blah, blah.
And if you try to walk past the sign will grab you and it'll pull your clothes off.
It's illegal.
It's a fucking sign.
So
you ignore it.
It's one of those things.
What kind of Mexicans are you?
Listen, this is one of the stupidest things I've ever heard come out of their mouths. Because it's like, it says you can only cover up tattoos. So, because you could be a gang member or whatever. So if anybody asked, I'd be like, I have a tattoo on my cock. So I'm wearing boxers. And it would be that simple, right?
I would say it's on my butthole.
Sure.
I tattooed the Eye of Sauron.
Like in the actual Eye of Sauron. All right. And so the one ring.
One ring to rule them all.
One ring to find them. One ring to bring them, in the darkness, find them.
One ring to bring all the boys to the yard.
Anyway, and so it actually, you know what? That ring adjusts the size. It depends on the bearer's ring size.
Oh, I don't like this.
Anyway, the point is they were stupid and they missed out because the water feels phenomenal with the cold air or whatever. Also, my sister had she shared a bunch of details. For example, bushes are alive and well in this part of the world. And it was a bunch of old ladies. And so, all right, you know what? You do you. But in case you're wondering, now you have that visual too. Anyway, let's continue. So, this is the giant Buddha statue. Again, this thing's enormous. Ginormous. Huge.
Huge. Just like my belly in that picture, goddamn.
Look at this picture. Like, this is me next to the feet, and 1 foot is my entire size. Like, and the width of the food, not even the length. So it's a gigantic Buddha statue. It's really cool. It's really nice. Again, the surrounding area is super beautiful. Fukuoka is super beautiful, and the ramen is phenomenal. I don't know
and we didn't even go to a special ramen.
We went
place.
to like a regular place.
We went to a place right outside the train station.
Yeah, we were just like, fuck it, we'll just eat here.
Yeah.
And I think the secret is the egg, because they gave you like a hard-boiled egg, but it's still runny inside. And so when you bite it or you cut or something, it falls all over the soup. It's
fuck me. Why didn't I have dinner before this?
So good. It's so good. It's one of those things like, is this really like the ramen capital of the world? Is it as good as advertised? Is it going to be as good as Hideko's udon noodles?
Well, that's not ramen.
It's fucking better. So much better. So I was happy we went there. So again, we're all relaxed. We saw all the cock we needed to see for our entire lives. And we ate a bunch of ramen. And we saw the giant Buddha. So again.
And the girls were all beat up because they only got a massage and they didn't realize the massage is supposed to go with the
so you get all beat up, there, like to get really in there, and then you go into the water, so you relax everything out. But women are not that smart sometimes. So there you go. Eric, there you go. He had a little romance with the Buddha.
Hey man, you look at that face. You can't resist those cheeks.
It was one-sided, unfortunately.
Oh, come on. He looks all happy.
He's being polite.
I appreciate it.
Next, we went to Hiroshima. Now, Hiroshima, we just want to do a quick pit stop because when we were there last time, we found this very beautiful lake. I loved Hiroshima. Hiroshima was probably my favorite spot from last time. It has a very interesting vibe, and we found this very beautiful little park/lake. So I really wanted to stop there because my girlfriend, she's really into nature stuff. She's also kind of like a goat, and by that I mean like the animal, like bah, that she likes going up hills and stuff. She likes hiking and stuff.
Is it wrong? I just thought of Tom Brady.
Yes.
I'm like, I don't know how you made that comparison, but I guess I can see it.
She can't live up to that standard. Nobody can. Anyway. So I wanted her to see this place, and I was also hoping that we could find some sakuras there, because it was a very beautiful park. Loved it. All this water there is filled with koi fish. It's a very beautiful spot, and also there's a bunch of history there. Like after they dropped the nuke there, they set up a hospital. So some of the hills here is where they buried a bunch of people, and that's probably why it's so fertile. But I don't know. It's weird. But I really liked Hiroshima. So
it's probably haunted as shit.
Yeah, we went there and onto one of the sides of the park. Well, again, this is the lake. This is locals, having some fun.
I need all these clips of me dancing. I want to make a little video.
You want to make like a video?
Yeah.
All right. So again, we found some sakuras. Now it's early in the season, so they weren't in full bloom, but we got to see them. We got the white ones, we got the pink ones. So it's like, all right, okay, I'll take it as a win. Because, again, it was the entire side of the park. It was one of the things like, man, if we would have been here like a week later, but still we got to see a little bit. And we got to see one that was in full bloom.
Oh, that's a good picture.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
She didn't want to do it, but whatever. Point is, very beautiful park. I recommend it. We also did all the regular stuff. We went to see the monument of Ground Zero where the nuke fell. We also went to see the dome, which is the only structure that survived after, the nuke went down. And I love this city, because it has a very interesting vibe, because it's so beautiful. Like it's super well organized. It's well planned. It's the city makes sense the way it's designed.
Well, they did get to start from scratch.
Yes, and so it's really weird because the entire thing, it's a giant tomb basically. You're standing in the site of the greatest attack in humanity, the deadliest attack in humanity, and it's so beautiful. Like it's so beautiful. So it's one of those things that you're like, to me, the entire city feels like a monument to the human spirit, to the resilience of the human spirit, of how you can rebuild. Like there's no bottom. We can claw ourselves out of the worst, and we can make something beautiful take its place. And so that's why I love it. I love the vibe. Like again, everybody kind of feels respectful around there in a way. Like in Japan already, you're in Japan, everybody's super respectful, but there's like a different air of respect for that city. I don't know. And you're trying to think of what's the deadliest attack in human history.
I'm trying to think if it was more deadly than Stalingrad.
Let's think the most devastating attack.
That's even more subjective, I think.
All right, in a certain period, in the shortest period of time, the most devastating in the shortest period of time.
The most devastating, like 10 seconds.
No, because then there's nuclear fallout, man.
Well,
a lot of people died of nuclear poisoning. Got rid of
a bunch.
Sure.
Honestly, I would rather be taken out by the big boom. Then the black rain was.
Then by the Russians.
Well, now I don't know.
All right. Anyway, so the point is, I like the city, so I wanted to make that stop for sure. That was on my list because I wanted them to see it, and it gives me a really odd feeling, and I like it. It's a good feeling. So next, we went to Osaka. Now, Osaka, we begin kind of in a downer, and that's in Universal Studios. Now, not Super Nintendo
not
World.
Related, technically.
Not Universal Studios, but just check it out here. This is Universal Studios Osaka. It's packed. Everywhere you went, there was a massive line. And I mean just freaking buying nachos, which we didn't see. Like buying a churro. Like I love, actually, well, again, another idiot dancing. So you can see this line. I mean, damn it. It's right here. Let's see. That is a line to buy food. All right? It's easily
and that's a short one.
Dozens of people long. Like let's say 2-3 dozens of people long, and this is the entire park everywhere. Like it's one of those things. Like, and I know this is gonna sound terrible, but I don't give a fuck. You know how when you go to an amusement park in America, you sometimes see large groups of Asians, and you know that man, I gotta avoid that group because wherever they go, the line's gonna be super long. Or sometimes they come and that day is gonna be super packed. Well, imagine that everywhere. Because these people are used to a lot of people, and they don't mind waiting 6 hours in line. They're used to it. They do it everywhere.
And also, oh man, they just let too many fucking people into the park, and they are way over capacity. And that specific day, there was a lot of stuff that was closed, which meant people are gonna go to fewer spots, and the lines are gonna be longer.
And again, this is all a matter of, let's say, cultural context. We are American. We go to American amusement parks. We go there and they say it's a 2-hour-long line. We're like, fuck this. I got better stuff to do with my life. I'll go eat a churro that I'll get in 5 seconds or whatever. I'll go to the line that's 15 minutes long. I'll wait for this one to get lower or something. Unless it's something new or I'm there specifically just for that. Fuck this. However, over there, they don't give a fuck. They're like, oh, it's only 2 hours. Great. So again, cultural difference. Good for them. It really bothered us.
The problem is we had to get there.
Okay, early. so we're gonna go into the problems with Universal Studios because there was a lot of problems. First off, we only really cared about going to Super Nintendo World. That was the one thing on our agenda. The only thing I cared about. The only reason I went there. And so we kind of took a risk because we didn't have tickets. Because when we were trying to get tickets, we couldn't get the ticket, the guaranteed entrance to Super Nintendo World. So we were like, all right, we can buy tickets to go to Universal Studios and risk being able to get in there. Or we can wait, go there day of, super early, and see if we can get in. And so we decided to do that. So we go there, we wait in line to go in, we go in to buy the tickets, and we ask the lady there, is there still room to do the reservation to go into Super Nintendo World when we get in there? And she's like, faux show. Faux show. So we bought the tickets, we went in, we did our reservation, boom, 7:30. 7:30. The park closes at 8. But we're like, you know what? All right, it's half an hour. We'll get to see it. We'll get to see it.
And also, it's one of those things that you assume, well, okay, it says 7:30, but
They'll let
maybe
us in
people
earlier.
leave early. Maybe they, it's empty now. You can get in there a little early. And maybe
also-
they're going to close a little late because,
also-
you got too many people there.
Yeah, and also we thought, you know what? It's Universal Studios. We'll check out some stuff. We'll have some fun. It was brutal because we spent the entire day basically waiting. We did a few things. We went to see, you see that Jujutsu Kaisen theater thing that's there? We did that.
That was awesome. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah,
it was
it's
a 4D
Jujutsu
theater
Kaisen
experience.
show, yeah. We went to the Spider-Man ride, which apparently wins the ride of the year consecutively. What else did we do?
In Universal.
We went to have lunch, which took a really long time too. We had to make a reservation, and then we got there and they're like, "It's an hour more." We're like, "We're gonna bite somebody. We're starving."
We actually went to. So we made reservations for a restaurant, and then we went to stand in line
To
for
get-
food,
Yeah.
so that food would sustain us until our reservation.
Yes, it was brutal. Again, I don't mind waiting in line for rides. I hate waiting in line for food. I hate it because
That's why I don't cook.
There's no reason for it. You can just have more food vendors. You can just have more. But anyway.
And also, it's Japan. I've seen vending machines in every fucking corner.
Yes.
This is the one
Yes.
fucking spot
Yes.
in all of Japan. There's nothing.
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 So again, horrible experience. I would not go back. But it's the end of the day.
It had some cool stuff.
Sure, but I would not go back.
No, and the main thing to me, what sucked is you couldn't leave.
Yes,
We couldn't
were
leave. We
stuck
had
there.
to be stuck there if we wanted to
And
make it to
what
Nintendo
sucked
Land.
is that the aquarium that we wanted to go to was right next door. So it would have been perfect. We go there, we do the Jujutsu Kaisen thing, we go out, then we come back when it's time to go to Super Nintendo World. We couldn't do it. We were stuck. We felt trapped. We saw a bunch of people doing TikTok videos in a street that made no sense because the background sucked, and nobody brought in a tripod for some fucking reason.
We kept photobombing.
It was stupid. There's a bunch of
Exactly.
dumb girls that trying to rest their phone on a wall, and I was like, "Why didn't you bring a tripod? Why didn't you bring a tripod?"
They probably didn't
one.
let him go. The theme parks are usually pretty weird about bringing
Dude, you
selfie
can grab,
sticks and stuff.
you can do a tiny one that's the size of a pen.
I guess.
Yeah, so
You
whatever.
can probably put it on their butt or something.
I mean, sure. Like security's that tough in freaking Japan.
I was just
Whatever.
disappointed that they didn't. My biggest disappointment here is it felt too much like American Universal Studios.
Yes.
And to me, it's I want more Japan.
Yeah.
Okay, the Jurassic Park area, that's neat. I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've gone all the rides because it's the same as over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Spider-Man speaks
Dude.
Japanese over here. That's neat. But it's the same ride.
We went into the Universal to the Jurassic Park store, and I was like, I'm gonna get something with a dinosaur here, but it all had Jurassic Park in English. I was like, if this were in Japanese, I'd buy it. Let me give you my money.
The
I
Jujutsu
wanna-
Kaisen store, that was cool.
Yeah,
They had a bunch of merch there.
I want to give you my store. I want to give you my money, but you won't take it because it's stupid. I could buy this in freaking California. Why isn't this in kanji? Anyway, the point is, not a great experience until we went into the Super Nintendo World. So again,
It felt like going through a literal magical portal.
this is the
into
portal right there. So again,
Insanity.
Now we were having issues at this point.
We were
Because
pissed.
it's at 7 p.m. We decided to risk it. Be like, hey, let's try to go in there, or let's just try it. Let's just try it. So we go there and we find the fucking employee of the month who's like, no, you can't come in there. It has specifically 7:30. Blah blah blah. Stupid. And so we're like, no man, we couldn't go in. And
Our sister, she was ready to go full Karen.
we were really, really pissed because we asked them specifically. At this point, the line for the big ride there, which would be the Mario Kart one, was 40 minutes. All right? Because again, it's closed. The park's about to close. It closed at 8. And so we asked this lady at the door of the Super Nintendo World thing, at the entrance, we're like, if we get in there at 7:30 and it says it's a 40-minute line, will they let us get in line? And she basically said, tough fucking noogies. The thing will close and you can go fuck yourselves. Now, she said in Japanese, and she was very polite about it, but that's what I heard.
They're very passive-aggressive.
That's exactly what I heard. And so we were just steaming. At this point, I was trying to be optimistic because we've been there all day and we're kind of going a little crazy because, again, we've just been waiting and waiting. And if we waited for nothing, somebody was going to lose their head. And that somebody was probably going to be me because I pushed this the hardest. But whatever.
Yeah, I the whole time I was kind of skeptical of like, do we really want to go to a theme park here? Like,
I'm the one who pushed it because I was like, I want to go to Super Nintendo World in Japan. That sounds awesome. We'd be in Japan. But anyway.
We were in Japan.
Yeah. So we went in there and the park is awesome.
It's insane.
First off, my girlfriend is retarded.
Yes.
Because she goes in there and she thinks that the sky is fake. She was like, they couldn't put like some lights up there, you know, like to make it look blue or whatever. She thought
she has some grievances with God.
Oh my God, it was so fucking funny. But yeah, like all this you can see here, that's the night sky. That's real. That's natural. That's the actual sky. That's God given. Yeah. The inside is phenomenal. Like every single place that you look at, it's interesting. They made the best with the terrain that they had.
Even the bathroom.
Yeah, the merch is awesome.
I'd be willing to go back just for the merch.
I'm assuming they have the same merch here in California.
Yeah, but I'm dumb.
What?
I want to go to Japan to buy it.
You know, sure. So you wait. Whatever. Doesn't matter.
That's
and
why I said
Bowser's Castle. Holy fuck. The amount of detail in that thing is crazy. Like, it actually feels like Bowser's Castle from Mario Kart.
I was a little disappointed we didn't get to wait in line longer.
So, we got there. We go straight to freaking Bowser's Castle for the Mario Kart one, and they let us in. Like, all right, single rider, boom, go in. So, we're in line.
We booked it.
The entire time, we're like, are they gonna like shut the gate right in front of us? So what's gonna happen? We're hoping. We're in line. There's people behind us. We're hoping we made it. We're super excited, but the entire time is like, are they just gonna guillotine us? Like, are we just gonna be like all the way at the front and then be like, boom, losers?
Are we gonna have to drop another bomb?
Yeah. So we get there, front of the line. We get to get on the ride. And the ride is phenomenal.
It's awesome.
It's
so
enhanced
fun.
reality. So for those of you who don't know, the virtual reality is when you put goggles and everything you see is fake. Enhanced reality is when you put on goggles and things appear. Like, for example, if you were walking down the street, you put on goggles, and then you see freaking Pokemon flying around.
Well, it's like Pokemon Go. You know, when you look around your camera and the Pokemon's there.
Yeah, so
that would more like augmented reality.
Yeah, so enhanced reality, augmented reality. That's kind of what it is. And so this thing, you are in a roller coaster. It reminded us a lot of the Buzz Lightyear ride in Disney, but with enhanced reality. And
you're kind of pointing with your with the head, right? Kind of,
yeah. So when you move your head, you get to see the characters in their carts. So you're kind of in the middle of a race, but you're shooting shells at everybody, you know, to gain points and stuff. So
you're
it's
technically
fun.
Racing, quote unquote, against the others.
Yeah, but you're still going through an actual kind of roller coaster. So there's a lot going on everywhere. It's fun. Like we got off the ride, and I walk up to Eric, and Eric's like, "Fucking Nintendo, I hate him. They always find a fucking way to put a smile on my face. I hate them."
Those fuckers, man. They're the most frustrating corporation I know. Because it's like, fuck you. How do you keep bringing me back?
You are so stupid with the way you handle things. But
I have so many fucking grievances with you and your backwards ass ways, but damn it, you know how to put a smile on my face.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. Like, we really loved it. And so we get out of there. We're happy. We got in. We got it in. It's all about how you leave them, folks.
And while we were waiting in line, I was fully with the idea of, okay, if this is all we get to do here, I'm cool.
Yeah.
We got to do the big ride.
It was all I cared about. And when we got out, we noticed our sister walked up to another line, and they let her go in to the Yoshi ride. It was like, what? But it's closing time. They're gonna let us, and they let us. So we got to ride the Yoshi ride. So we went on the two big rides there.
The Yoshi ride is like more of a kid's ride. You can see it here.
It's definitely a kiddie ride. But you get to see like the entire park. You get to see like a bunch of Easter eggs hidden around. It's great. It's a lot of fun.
Look around for eggs. And literally an Easter egg hunt.
Yeah. So again, you get to see the entire thing. It's nice. I got the green Yoshi. I'm super happy about it.
I want. Which one did I get? Did I get pink? I wanted the pink.
You were the red one. Like you were right here. Like you could see yourself right there.
Yeah, I don't like red Yoshi. I wanted pink Yoshi.
Anyway, the point is, we got to do the whole thing. So again, it's all about how you leave them, folks. So the day sucked, except the Jujutsu Kaisen part, and the food was pretty good, and the Spider-Man ride was fun. But
the beginning, middle, and end were good.
Yeah.
It was the in-betweens that were very long and very stressful.
Brutal. We were hungry. And so, that's the worst part. And so,
No. Actually,
Super Nintendo
you know what
World
I was mostly... You know what I was the most pissed? The most pissed. I didn't get to see fucking Japanese Water World.
Yes! Yes!
That's what I wanted to see.
Yeah.
And they fucking closed it.
Yeah, they closed a bunch of stuff. We don't understand why. We were just mad. But, yeah.
I wanted to see Japanese Kevin Costner.
Freaking Super Nintendo World Japan was awesome. We were very happy about it. Highly recommended, but the rest of the park kind of sucks. So if you're gonna go there, get your thing already. It's a guarantees that you're gonna go in. Go there early, and then you can leave.
Or just go to the one in L.A. I've seen videos. It's the same thing.
They would have to go to L.A. Nobody deserves that.
Well, I don't like most of your viewers anyway, so you know.
Oh, fair enough.
Fine. That's why that's why I made this podcast so late.
Yeah, busted from a basket. Next, let me see. What do we got here? Oh, crap.
Oh, yeah, and we didn't even get to actually do the experience of there's like a wristband you can put on, and you can look around for Easter eggs. They have like logos all over the place, and if you put it on, you start gathering coins.
That's actually awesome.
Yeah.
But we didn't get to do that.
But, you know.
Yeah, whatever. We survived.
Yeah.
So next, this is kind of like I said, we were in Osaka. It's famous. It's like the famous food district in Osaka. It's called Dotonbori. Did I get that right?
Good.
Nice. There's food everywhere you look.
Imagine the Vegas Strip. Like, this place is stacked.
Yeah. So here, basically, what we did in Osaka, we went to see the castle.
My favorite castle of the trip.
It's an awesome castle. We went to see the the
aquarium. Those moats, man.
Oh yeah. There's so many moats. I want to moat. We went to see the aquarium, which is kind of famous there. It's famous because it has a giant indoor aquarium. A giant indoor tank, I'm sorry. It's got like this giant stingray. It's probably the one that took down, our boy Steve Irwin. And it has 2 freaking whale sharks in there. Again, this thing is massive. Massive. So we went to check that out. Eric didn't go because he was like, I already gone there before and I don't like fish. So screw it.
Well, I'd already gone there and I just wanted to go shopping around there, honestly.
Yeah.
So I went to the mall that's right next
to it. I took this kick-ass
picture. And I bought
picture.
the best backpack of my life.
It is very nice.
That little bag was best.
It is very nice. So again, I like animals, so I had a good time there. And then we did a lot of drinking, and we did a lot of eating.
Oh, that was.
And we ate some more.
That was good.
Now you didn't eat this, but for those of you who
no, that's an Osaka castle, I think.
This is an Osaka castle.
I ordered that.
Really?
Well, the bottom one.
Well, let me tell you what this is. This is basically this is nigiri, but with beef, like beef on top. But this thing right here, this cone right here, this cone is filled with mashed potatoes and covered with basically like roast beef. It is so good. So good. And healthy too.
Oh, so you see that little green on the thing? That's wasabi. I think I understand why Japanese people don't like spicy food that much.
Because it doesn't taste good. It just burns you.
Yeah, it's just pain. It's no pleasure.
Yeah.
The reason we like spicy food is because,
it's mostly pleasure.
Yeah, it's like it adds a little,
It's literally hurts so good.
Yeah, with wasabi, good. It's just this is just kind of unpleasant for a while.
Yeah. So, again, and we also went on the Ferris wheel. So we got to see, Osaka at night. It's pretty nice. It's very pretty. It's a nice city. It's like the most Western city. People talk on the train.
It feels like San Diego.
Madness.
It's the one that feels the most like
we
San
drank
Diego.
A little bit more. That's a little sake. We did some karaoke, and then we met some we met some people at a bar. That was actually a lot of fun.
I actually recently found that dollar that they signed.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. And so while we were in Osaka, we decided to hop on the train and go to Nara, which is like an hour away. Now, Nara is famous because there's deer running around.
And the Prime Minister was recently murdered there.
Yes. Former Prime Minister? Shinzo Abe. Yes, Shinzo Abe. But I think he wasn't the Prime Minister anymore.
I think he was.
Well, that makes it worse.
Yeah.
Anyway, the point is...
They Kennedy the man.
The man was murdered, and also there's a bunch of deer running around like stray dogs. And this is the train that gets you there. As you can see, they have a theme. They know what they're selling, and it's pretty neat. It's pretty cool. So you're on this train, you get there, and there's deer walking around everywhere. And you can buy these kind of like cookies or crackers. You can feed them. It's great. One of those deers, like, they demand food. Like, you can see they don't have horns. Now, it's not that they cut off the horns like dumb people have suggested. No, some deer, drop their antlers and in winter, so they're barely starting to grow back. And they demand the food. Like one of these bit my girlfriend's butt because like, no, I know you got some. Gimme. It was hysterical. So yeah, I was. Eric and Dina didn't go to this one. I wanted to go there because I like animals and I wanted to touch them. So, and again, my girlfriend likes being outside, so it was great.
And I had already been to Nara. So.
And again, we in this park we got to see a little bit more sakuras blooming. Got to see the deer. We got to see this temple. Unfortunately, they were getting stuff ready for like peak touristy season, so they were doing a bunch of remodeling, so a lot of things were closed. Supposedly, this is the biggest wooden temple in the world, but we couldn't go in because again they were doing remodels, which sucks. But whatever, we got to see it.
You got a nice
got to see it, and again, got to see a bunch of.
Did you see the big Buddha?
No.
Oh, was it closed?
Yeah.
There's a big golden Buddha.
Yeah, it's closed. And so again, we got to see a little bit more sakuras. There's this very nice lake, more deer walking around with the sakuras. It was great. Like it was honestly like very beautiful, very peaceful. I don't know what else you would do there if you stay there, but I enjoyed it. The deer bow at you, some of them. Like they've been taught to like just to bow, which is great when they want food. It's phenomenal. Like if stray dogs did that, I would give them more food. Yeah. But they don't. So screw them.
Or if they bit my butt.
True. That's a way to get your attention.
That motivates me.
Next, we move on to
my favorite spot,
Kyoto. Now, this is a spot that Eric didn't go to because he's lazy. This is called Fushima Inari. I was so close. Fushima Inari Shrine. It's basically a mountain that's a temple, and it's got, what do you call those arc thingies? It's like a big red arc. These
Torii gates, I believe they're called.
Torii gates. It's got like 10,000 of them, and so you're walking up this mountain. We went there at night. During the day and during the night, there's completely different views because you get to see at one point you get to see like the entire city. And I wanted to go at night because that's at the time that we got there, and I really wanted to get this out of the way because the next day we were going up another mountain, and last time we went up 2 mountains the same day, and it was a bad idea. So we wanted to do one,
including this one.
Yeah, one each time. This one. Last time we suffered because last time we went there, it was raining. It was super cold. We had already gone up one mountain that day, so it was a bad idea.
And also a pig tried to attack me and my buddy.
And we saw we were attacked by a naked man, basically.
Oh, not a pig, a boar.
Yeah, well, yes.
And yeah, there was a naked Attack on Titan man.
Yes, this was the period where Attack on Titan was just starting, and it's raining. It's super cold because we were there in January. And as I believe we were here, like there's a bathroom there to the left. And so as we're going up, imagine hearing this. So you turn around and out of the bathroom comes out like a steam coming out of his body, naked man like, and we're like, Nani? So we're like,
up the mountain.
What do we do? And then we're up the mountain like, dude, the naked man could come out of anywhere. What is happening?
It was a true horror film.
Yes.
No,
Fortunately, this time was way chiller. Like, way, way chiller.
And also, the reason I didn't go... during a bunch of different spots during the trip, I decided I'm not going to go there. I'm going to go do something else because I already did this. Now, Dario is the first time he's going with his girlfriend, so, she probably wants,
She likes being outside, doing nature-y stuff.
No, but she also probably wanted you to be with her, So you were kind of a little bit more stuck in that regard.
And also I enjoyed the stuff.
Sure. But with me, it was more like, well, I already did this. I'm just going to fucking walk around Kyoto and see what the fuck else is there. I found the geisha district.
Yeah. We had dinner there.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we go up.
So it was good for scouting.
Yeah. So we go up Fushimi Inari. It's great. We go all the way to the top. Next day, we go up Monkey Mountain. And again, Eric had already gone there, and it wasn't great for him. He's sort of asthmatic, and he's weak. And so he didn't want to go up there. Our sister was like, fuck that. So I went up there with just my girl. And it's great, because you get to see a bunch of monkeys kind of in the wild.
Which is weird, because Dario doesn't like monkeys.
I don't like monkeys. But, all right, I don't like...
now he's thinking, why did I go here?
I don't like monkey Pokemon. I don't like monkeys in general. Like, I wouldn't have one as a pet. But, like watching a wild animal is always fun. You get to feed them. Like you get to see. I was curious at how they were going to eat the banana. You can see it right there. Because it's still, like, they slice it, but it still has, like, the skin. And, they just eat it without the skin. They just drop the skin.
Yeah,
There you go.
I like monkeys.
I don't like them. Anyway, so again, the cool part is that you get to see the entire city from there, basically. It's a great little spot. And again, you get to hang out with some monkeys. Fortunately, this time, there wasn't one of our friends who provoked the monkeys, so it was all good.
Unfortunately.
I was like, look at the sizes. Look at this beautiful animal.
Look at the absolute size of that lad.
He could kill you with a single strike.
He can kill you with a stare.
Yeah. So then we went to check out the old Imperial Palace. We checked out
the most beautiful castle, but not my favorite because it didn't have a moat.
It didn't have a moat. It's so weak. I could have taken it over.
Yeah, honestly, it's more like it's for decoration. That's not a good castle.
It's not a good castle.
You cannot defend that at all.
Not at all. Like, it has a very nice tree though. Like, very nice gardens and stuff. It's very beautiful. It's very beautiful.
Oh, there's so many areas where I was like, dude, boss music is about to start.
Oh yeah,
we're about to have a boss fight here. Like, holy shit.
Great. It was great. It's a great little castle. Like,
little?
look at it. Well, it's a huge castle.
Yeah.
Look at all these gardens. We went to the bamboo forest, which is kind of famous over there. And then we went to the Golden Pavilion. Again, one of the more famous spots in Kyoto. Yeah, look at that. Look at that beauty. Eric didn't go there because he's already been there twice, so he didn't care.
Yeah, it's still gold.
We got served by a robot.
That was so cool.
Honestly, yes. Because you don't have to talk to waiters. It's great.
And also, the thing does, like, cat noises.
Yeah, it's a robot. It's a cat robot. It's great.
Very
I
polite.
don't know why the videos go on this side, but whatever. It doesn't matter. And next, we went to Mount Fuji. So, as we were going on the train there, our sister was like, look out the window, look out the window. So we look out the window, and we saw this right here. Mount Fuji, hidden, peeking out of the clouds. And we were like, yes!
Well,
yes!
a little more context, because it was kind of difficult to get there.
Oh, yeah, it was horrible.
Yeah.
We
had to take a really, really long bus, basically.
A bunch of really long buses and
we
really
didn't know
long
if we were
train.
taking the right exit. It was...
Yeah, it was an odyssey to get there, honestly. It was very difficult. It was very confusing, but we got there. And we were exhausted because we're carrying around our luggage everywhere. And if you've noticed, we've been moving around a lot this entire trip. So carrying all that stuff. And buses suck. All right? Trains are awesome. Buses suck. Because you don't know how long you're going to be waiting. And it's just horrible and annoying and boring. So, not fun. And you're outside. With the train station, you're inside. Bus stops, and you're just out there. And so that's not fun. And so continue with the context.
Yeah, so we're heading up, and we know that we're just heading up a trail, and we don't... At this point, we're kind of all just looking around, and I find it funny because I had seen Fuji before, just like from the bullet train and stuff, and I was like, oh, that's a big motherfucker. And this was like a very long distance. So as we're going up the mountain, well, they keep looking around. They're like, is that Fuji? Is that Fuji? And
every single hill.
And they ask me, and they're like, hey, Eric, is that Fuji? And I'm like, once you see Fuji, you're going to know it. Mm-hmm. You're not going to have to ask me. And lo and behold.
Right freaking there.
It pops out and it's like, oh, that's Fuji.
Yeah. Like it sticks out like a mountain. So
like a giant volcano.
We're on the bus and we see it and we're like, oh, this is awesome. Yes. So immediately I'm like relaxed because I got to see it. Even if it was a little bit, even if it was just on the bus, I got to see it. So I could at least be like, all right, I got to see Fuji a little bit. Enough. So again, some people are there for months and they don't get to see it once. At least, got to see it peaking a little bit.
Some people live there for years.
And never see it. Again, it's the shyest mountain ever. But whatever. Yeah. So then we go to the very next day. We get up early and we go to Lake Kawaguchi.
Yeah.
All right, I got it. And we decided, all right, so we can go like on a hike or we could take this tram. Is it called tram?
I think so.
Tram. And when we get, and to go to the top of this hill where we could see Fuji. And again, as you can see, it's very cloudy. And we're like, all right, well, let's just get the tram. And if we get the tram for like $5 more. It comes with a ferry ride. So like, all right, well, we'll go around the lake or whatever. Cool. So we get 2 for 1. Fine. We really had no plans other than just going walking around and trying to see Fuji. So we go up the hill, and as we're up there, this is how it looks like. Cloud cover everywhere. So we're like,
Fuji's right there.
Yes.
Right there, yeah.
In that particular area. So we're like, man, damn it. But fine. All right, whatever.
We kind of
We're out
expected
here.
it,
yeah.
too. So.
And we'd seen it the day before. So we were like, all right, at least we saw a little something. It'd be better as the day progresses, maybe it'll burn off the cloud cover, and you could kind of see the wind direction that maybe there would be a little bit of a hole kind of here. But we're like, all right, whatever.
We'll see how it goes.
So we go to the top of the hill, and we start, horsing around. There's
start being silly.
Yeah, we start seeing silly. We start taking like pictures and stuff. Like, Eric, look at this strapping young lad in front of a lake.
Been an effective Tinder picture.
And then, right as we get to the top, to a place to take a picture, you can see Mount Fuji peaks right as we're there. Like, right, we went there, we took a picture, nothing. And then the next people went up, and boom, like, Fuji just peaked out. So we just sneaked in our picture. Like, look at this.
Oh, there's so many people behind that thing. Like, you can see in his glasses, everybody's waiting there for like, come on, it's it's time.
They wait for their turn. We're like, fucking idiots. We're just gonna take the picture. And so since we were already there and nobody says anything, we just went again. We took the picture a little bit, and
they
we
probably
like,
cursed
yes!
our family for generations. I don't give a shit.
We were like, yes, right place, right fucking time. Yes, awesome.
We consider this the biggest win.
Awesome. Like, right at the perfect moment, everything, even if it was a little bit, great. Yeah. And so there's this bell there. You see this heart, and there's this legend that says that if you ring this bell while looking at Mount Fuji, your wish will come true. Now, we didn't ring the bell going up because we couldn't see Mount Fuji. But on the way down, we could kind of see it again. Like, you could see, and this is Eric trying to ring the bell while looking at Fuji. So, look at him.
And look at that little backpack.
Nope.
I'm like, what is this?
He could not figure out the damn bell. He even thought it was broken. So he managed to get it. He figured it out at the end. It just looked like an idiot. And again, it's hard to see because against the clouds, and it's snowy and everything. But it was there,
also,
so we didn't cheat.
I consider it my personal responsibility to be a baka gaijin.
Oh, yes.
We have to be silly. We have to be a little boisterous because that's how they see us,
We have to be a little annoying.
Yeah, like that's what they expect from us. So I'm gonna, deliver.
Yeah. So again, we were seeing the mountain. We rang the bell, and it was really funny because they asked me like, oh, well, what would you have wished for if you had rang the bell before? Like, the funny part is that the wish that I had was that I could see Fuji. So it would have been really ridiculous, but whatever.
So you're the reason we didn't win the lottery.
Maybe. So then we get on the lake, and as we're going off on the lake, clearing the hills, boom. Frickin' Fuji behind us, the clouds getting out of the way, and we get this big, beautiful view.
Look at that.
Clear, perfect, and this picture doesn't do it justice. Because again, that thing's all covered up in snow, so again, the lens kind of has to adjust all that stuff, gets a little bit darker. This was big, beautiful, ginormous, and the people's reaction on the boat was our favorite part, because we were in the corner, Fuji was right behind us, but we weren't looking at it.
Because we were like looking inwards a little.
Yeah, we were looking at the lake.
We were talking to one another,
Yeah, we were looking at the lake. We already saw Fuji, so like, we saw a little bit. We saw it was covered with clouds, so whatever. So once we cleared, like the tree line, and it's just pops out of there like a ginormous mountain. Everybody's like, whoa, and they turn right towards us, and everybody's coming. And so we turn around, like, oh my god, it's a mountain.
No, and we're like because at first they turned to us, and we're like, the paparazzi.
Yeah, so you can see, like, I kind of in my glasses, everybody just trying to.
Yeah.
And we're taller than everybody.
We were so obnoxious.
We taller.
Fucked so many pictures.
Taller than everybody else, so we just blocked their view. And again, we're seeing it's like, oh my god. So we didn't get it. We got it yesterday. We got it up there at the top. We got it down there where we were ringing the bell, and now we get it here at the lake. Like, dude, we should get a lottery ticket. Seriously. Like, we just won the Fuji lottery. And again, for most of you might be like, what's the big fucking deal? It's a mountain. It's a mountain. It's a mountain that most people don't get to see.
And also, it is really impressive when you're actually in person. It's like,
again, this whole area is covered by hills, but then all of a sudden, boom, giant mountain, and it's beautiful, and it's the symbol of the country, basically. So I was very happy to be there. To me, I was
saw
like,
Godzilla, fight freaking Gamera there, like, there's nostalgia there.
So it's one of those things. Like, all right, checklist done. Like, I think I'm happy. At this point, it's been a super successful trip. No complaints so far. Great. So
I was happy once I had the Family Mart chicken.
Pretty much.
I'm a simple man.
Pretty much. So next we went to back to Tokyo, and at this point,
so you remember foreshadowing?
Yes. At this point, we lost Eric. Eric was gone. He was first man down. Now, Eric,
out for the count.
Tell us what happened.
All right, so you remember about that whole udon thing, if you do not do it properly, it can fuck with you.
Mm-hmm.
When we were in Fuji, one of the random places that we found for food was a random udon place, and it seemed like they were about to close.
Right at the bell. We were right there, right at the bell.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, so let's get something before they close. And we got this udon with pork.
Delicious.
Yeah, and me, Dario, and his girlfriend, we all got them. Mm-hmm. It was really good.
Really good.
And my sister got udon with, like, vegetables or something, whatever.
Something stupid.
That was not a well-made udon, apparently. There was something wrong in there. That night, at night, I usually, like, put on some anime or something. I was watching Yu Yu Hakusho, just, before bed. And, man, I was starting to sweat, It's one of those, like, I just can't get comfortable. I don't know if it's the bed. No, the bed feels fine. I took a shower. I should be pretty relaxed. And I was just sort of feeling a little off. Something's not right. But whatever. I go to bed, and the next day, I'm still feeling a little off, but, well, slightly better. And then I talk with these guys, and they felt a little off as well.
Yeah, like, I was feeling nauseous at one point. And so I don't remember exactly what it was, but I fell asleep in I actually put like the hot tub on, and I just fell asleep in there for a while. And I remember feeling really nauseous, and that to me that was probably the worst thing, nausea, like a lot of it. And so we talked to Eric, and it was kind of like similar stuff.
And all three of us except my sister
ate the same thing, because we've been eating all the same stuff.
Immediately went back and were like, yeah. That was the thing. That was the different thing we had.
Common thread.
Yeah. So we figured, okay, well, now we feel kind of better. But I start feeling not better when we get to Tokyo. I start getting a little bit of the rumbles. A little bit of what they call the bubble guts.
A little bit country. A little bit rock and roll.
And, basically I was not really there for the last leg in Tokyo for, like, the last 2 days, maybe?
You needed to be near toilets.
But, like, it was one of those things that's like, this is not a question. This is not a question. I need to find the toilet in this building right now. This is not wait for 10 minutes. This is I'm gonna pull the fucker who's inside of this toilet stall, and it's my turn.
Now, here's the best part. Eric, tell them about your return trip.
So, I figured maybe I just had it in my system, and it was, food poisoning, and it was gonna be out after one day. Wake up the next day when I was planning on basically doing the rest of my last minute shopping.
Because this was going to be the souvenir guy. Eric made a decision early on in the trip, and he was like, you know what? I want to be a souvenir guy. On the last day of the trip, I'm going to buy all my souvenirs. I'm going to be a souvenir guy.
I've never been a souvenir guy.
You don't want to carry them around the entire trip like an idiot. You wait till the souvenir shopping at the end.
And we went scouting. Like, when the first days that it was only Dario and I, we went scouting around.
Yeah,
and
we're like,
be
I want this. So I took pictures of everything. I was like, I'm going to buy this, probably.
Yeah.
And so...
So we had a plan. But God said, well, you know that thing about plans? Go fuck yourself.
Oh, my sweet summer child.
Yeah, basically, I had to tap out. We were in Akihabara, and it just wasn't happening. I couldn't fit. So, the stores are basically the you know, there's multiple levels. You go up escalators and stuff, and you look at the floor around. You do a loop, and then you go up, and then you do a loop, and then, you know, at the end you just take an elevator down.
And we found great stuff.
I couldn't finish a loop. Before I was like, no, still.
And this is days in. Like, he'd already had medicine.
It was like 2 days. Yeah,
but again,
maybe.
we don't know what medication we gave him because it was in Japanese. And we just basically talked to the dude there, and it's like, for, like, yeah, stomach. He's like, nah. And so...
You're like, stop hitting on me.
Yeah. So, Eric... It wasn't going. It wasn't happening.
It wasn't happening. So I was like, guys, I'm fucking tapping out, and I'm gonna go pass out. And when I'm not passed out, I'm gonna be on the toilet.
Unfortunately, there was only one toilet in this apartment.
Unfortunately for you guys,
of course,
because I was hogging.
That's what I said. Unfortunately.
Yeah, and I was the first person who had to fly back.
Yeah, he left a few days early because at this point, well, when he bought the tickets, he had a job.
I was working at Amazon, yeah.
And it required him to be back on a particular day.
Which, you know, looking back, it's one of those things that's like, man, I should have, like, bought the ticket to go, like, a week early as well.
Yeah, but whatever.
There's always the next trip. And, oh my God, like...
So first off, we were, like, an hour away from the airport. So I'm guessing that trip was fun.
No, actually, the trains were not bad.
All right.
There was something about the movement.
Okay.
That kind of got you like, okay, you know, I don't feel good, but it's better.
So you make it to the airport.
Make it to the airport. Longest
like 9-hour flight?
Fucking line. The
For
airport
security
was
line?
so fucking long. It was almost getting out of the building.
Damn.
But whatever. Make it on time. And honestly...
To the toilet or to the plane?
You know what's funny?
What? Both? None? Neither?
I think the plane ride was like 9 hours.
Okay.
I think.
Mm-hmm.
The first 7 hours were fine. Absolutely fine. I downloaded The Batman, the movie, because I was like, hey, I heard this movie's long as shit. Guess who has time and who doesn't sleep on airplanes? That guy. So I watched it, and you know when you're like, your mind is really into something that, you know, you sort of ignore your bodily functions?
Sure.
I was like, oh man, I'm really enjoying this movie.
When I'm playing video games, I forget about eating.
Yeah, so, and you know, that happens to me, and I'll get a headache, and then I'll associate that with the game, and I'll stop playing the game. Because it gives me headaches.
Yeah. It's the dumbest gamer thing ever. Like, you forget to eat.
Yeah. So, the first 7 hours, it's fine. I watched all of the original Gundam. Everything's good. And I'm like, okay, maybe the medicine hit. Maybe it's good. And then after the meal service, I feel the bubble guts. And I was like, okay, I knew this was going to be at least a thing at one time. Mm-hmm. I knew I was going to...
You're mentally prepared.
I was going to familiarize myself with the toilet.
Were you sitting on the aisle seat?
I was on the aisle.
All
yeah,
right,
in the middle.
You control your own destiny.
Yeah, that was good. The problem is I kind of started needing to go when the meal service started.
Oh,
and it's like,
they're blocking
it's on the way.
No, and you're gonna miss the meal.
2 birds. I mean, I'm not hungry, but come on.
Could this day get any worse?
Yeah, and also the flight back was way worse than the one there because the flight back was American, I think. I think both were American, but on the way to Japan, it was Japanese service.
Oh yeah.
Which is way better.
I think it was Japan Airlines via American Airlines.
Yeah, but it was Japan Airlines crew.
Yeah.
And the way back was just Americans.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's no fun.
Nah.
And yeah, I ended up familiarizing myself with that toilet like
final stretch
at least 3 times. It wasn't too bad, but then I make it to LAX, and then I make it.
Fortunately, you can poop on the street there.
Sure. I walked really fast because I wanted to get my luggage. Because at this point, I'm not in Japan. Mm-hmm. I don't trust this place anymore.
No. Too many Mexicans.
Yeah, I know what these people are. I know what they think. I need to get my luggage. I need to get everything safe.
Listen, if I want to steal your luggage, they want to steal mine.
This is how we think.
Yes.
I'm gonna break into your house.
Snooze, you lose.
You know why I'm gonna break into your house? Because you left the door open. That's why. And so
It's practically an invitation.
we get to.
By the way, I think it's not breaking and entering if the door is unlocked.
Life's funny that way. But
Fun fact.
yeah. But anyway, there was the longest fucking line you ever saw for the
Customs?
customs. That's the one. And they had 3 officers because it was 6 a.m. And I was like, okay. I kind of got there middle of the pack. So I got there and there's a long line. Like, I still got to wait like 30 minutes at least. But I look back and that's an hour wait. And there's a bathroom there. So I could leave and go to the bathroom and relieve myself. But then I'd have to do that hour and a half line. So I figured.
Sophie's choice.
And then it's like, I want to get my luggage. Because I didn't want just spinning in the thing, some hobo's going to take it.
Do you think it's a bomb or whatever? You go to jail?
Yeah, so I didn't need that. Not at that moment.
Maybe some other time.
So I was like, you know what? I've made it this far. I'm standing now, so I can kind of, do this little dance thing. Okay, I can make it. 30 more minutes. I wait him. And it's one of those things that your body starts feeling it, You know that time's coming. And it's like when you just get home, you've been holding it for an hour just fine.
The closer you get.
But the closer you get, your butthole knows it. I don't know how.
You can feel it.
That is the third eye. That is the eye of Sauron. And so
we decided it's the Ring of Power.
Yeah. Oh, it was powerful, all right. And so I just walk up to the officer, and at this point,
sweating bullets.
At this point, I'm ready to have an abortion. Okay? I feel this doesn't feel right. This feels like an eldritch abomination is about to pour out of my being. I have Rosemary's Baby.
Ooh.
And I just fucking book it. Luckily, I find my bag? Luggage? Yeah, my luggage right away. And that poor toilet.
My God. The horror.
The absolute
horror.
First off, immediately I missed Japanese toilets.
Oh, yeah, because they're superior. They warm up. They play music, for privacy stuff.
And this one, no. This toilet...
American.
It
was cold, probably.
I baptized that thing.
Baptized through fire.
Baptism with fire. And here's the funniest part of all this to me.
Is my favorite part.
My parents come to pick me up.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah,
they drove all the way up to LA. They crossed another country to come pick you up.
Yeah, it was very nice. And we already knew we're gonna go to Vegas because we're gonna come back a few days later to pick these guys up. So it's like, fuck it, let's go to Vegas and while we wait. I didn't expect to be sick. I didn't expect to have a stomach flu when I flew back from Japan. So
going straight to the Vegas.
But we're going.
What is it? A 4-hour drive?
It was a 5-hour drive from LAX, and I stopped by a random ass bathroom in like a Marriott hotel or something, and my parents. It's early in the morning, and so we're like, and my parents are like, oh well, let's get some breakfast. I'm like, okay, cool. There's a McDonald's right there. We just get a couple of burritos and
we can get and go
and hit the road. My parents are like, actually, we kind of McDonald's. We kind of want to sit down somewhere, and where we can get service and get a full breakfast. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm dying here, and you want to sit.
Fucking hell. You wanna prolong this torture.
Why are you doing this to me? I thought you loved me. And so, well, I desecrate the Denny's bathroom, and then I immediately go back to the car, and I lay down, in the back seat, incredibly uncomfortable. But luckily, I was so tired from both, sickness and the long trip, I just black out. And I wake up in Prim. Whiskey Pete.
Nice.
So, that was...
You teleported.
That was okay. That I fast traveled.
Yeah,
luckily
there you go.
to the Vegas. And I feel like in Vegas I finally started feeling better. Like once I was actually at the hotel, got a couple of days in there, just chill.
And what did
have some medicine.
What was it that you had in the end?
It was a stomach flu. I had to like look it up because I was like I don't know what the difference between stomach flu and food poisoning is. The difference is when you start getting symptoms.
I guess.
Stomach food poisoning, that night you were going to be on the
Immediately,
toilet.
you get it out of your system.
And the next day, you're probably going to be sore, but you're probably going to be fine. Stomach flu, you start feeling a little by little, and then in like 2-3 days, that's the peak. The peak was when I flew.
Oof.
That was the peak. So that was the very, very worst day. And it's kind of about how you leave them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I'm feeling a little bittersweet, thinking back. But, looking at all this stuff, that we saw, I was like, yeah, I had a really good time. That's good. But
I don't know, man.
But I'm gonna have to go back.
I don't know. It sounds like you were really butthurt.
I was... Listen. It was like the Eye of Sauron that we saw in that onsen.
You know what you said? Foreshadowing.
It was foreshadowing.
For sure. Anyway, so Eric missed basically all this part of the trip, for making girlfriends with the toilet. And maybe this is the first time of you hearing or seeing this.
Yeah, let's see it.
All right, so we went to the Tower of Tokyo, which was pretty nice. It's got a pretty neat view. You get to see the entire city. This is pretty cool because look at all these buildings. Pretty much as far as the eye can see, it's at least 4 stories tall everywhere in every direction. It's great. And so there's a lot of city over there. It's a gigantic. There's too many people, but you don't feel like it's too crowded because the city never stops. It's all because of the trains. You're never stuck in traffic. So it flows. You get where you need to go. You're never stuck, except
so
Universal
efficient.
Studios. So it's super efficient, and that's why it works and it doesn't feel overcrowded.
And also, there's just enough nature.
Yes.
Like they really take really good care of their parks there, and there's
It's clean.
a good amount of trees. The aesthetic is still there. It's not just urban jungle, like concrete jungle kind of crap.
Yeah, so it sucks that it was overcast, but it was nice. You get to walk on glass and stuff. If you got
that's nice.
vertigo and stuff, I don't recommend it, but it was fun for me. Then we went to the Ghibli Museum.
Oh, we didn't talk. I went to the manga museum too.
Oh yeah,
That was fun.
how was the manga museum?
There's a
That
lot
was
of
in
fucking
Kyoto.
manga.
Wow, awesome.
I read the.
He said it's kind of like a library.
Yeah. You can literally just go in there and just pick up whatever volumes, and there's entire walls. I was not supposed to take pictures. I took a lot of fucking pictures.
You should post them.
Well, they're gonna find me.
Show them to me later.
They're gonna find me.
They're Japanese. Anyway.
Yeah, and I ended up reading the first volume of JoJo Steel Ball Run in Italian.
Oh, molto bene.
I was like, sure, fuck it.
Why not?
Fuck it, this is kind of funny.
Yeah, sure. Random. So I went to the Ghibli Museum. They would not let us in because Japanese people are stupid. So it's because of COVID, you needed to get your ticket online, and for some reason we couldn't get the ticket online or whatever. And so we were there at the door, and we were like, so is there enough room to go in? And they said, yes. All right. So this website won't let us buy tickets unless we buy it like 3 months in advance. But you're saying that there's room now. Yes. Can we just buy a ticket and go in? No. Why? She gave us an explanation, but I don't speak Japanese. So it was just one of those things. It was super frustrating. Couldn't go in, but I took a picture of this Totoro. It's just, it pissed me off. We went to see the...
Oh, that's badass.
Yeah, this is a statue outside of the Imperial Castle in Japan. We walked, the gardens. They have kind of moats, I guess. in a way. That's a moat.
Respectable moats.
Yeah, they have moats.
Way better than Kyoto.
There's a very nice garden there. They get, again, more sakuras. Very nice. I went to the Pokemon store, and let me tell you something about the Pokemon store. I was massively disappointed. Last time we went, they had a bunch of these statues of a bunch of different Pokemon, right? Yeah. Now they only had this one, and I think maybe another one. But it was mostly just, merch. They basically saw me. I didn't really feel special in a way. And last time it did feel special. It did feel like you were immersed. And I was really pissed off because I was there a week before they retired Ash. A week. They were going to retire Ash after 25 years, and there was nothing. Like, if they would have had a button and they sold it for $20 that said goodbye Ash in Japanese, I would have bought it. Because that was
Satoshi, but yes.
Whatever. Sayonara Ash, and I was nothing. So I was massively disappointed. I was like, why the hell did I come here? Fortunately, as I was heading back, the way I was just moving around by myself at this point. Shinjuku Station made an entire wall honoring Ash. So it's an entire wall of screens, and it's just video after video, non-stop homage to Ash. I walked that entire. It took me an entire hour to walk through that wall, and it got to me, man. It got to me. It's like, oh my god, I remember that. It's this dude might be the worst Pokemon trainer ever. But man, he did it! My boy did it!
He actually made it!
He made it! Oh my god, he's so stupid as a trainer, but gotta love him. He's got a heart of gold. He did it. He's the champ, and also, now he's retired.
Somehow he's only aged 1 year.
He's retiring on top, so I was happy. It got to me a little bit, the nostalgia. So, all right. So the Pokemon store couldn't do that, not even one screen, but Shinjuku did it. So, all right, fine. Kudos to them. Good job. Next, we
also just a little fun fact. So, Ash's name in Japanese is Satoshi, which is named after the creator of Pokemon, I think, Satoshi Tajiri.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what Gary's name is in Japanese?
Blue.
Well, no.
What is it?
His name is Shigeru, after Shigeru Miyamoto from Nintendo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Fun fact.
That's a nice little fun fact. All right, so this is actually Akihabara, and for some reason they closed the street, and so we could just walk around the streets in Akihabara.
Oh, that's badass.
That was really cool. So we took some pictures there on the street, and also there's a bunch, again, people doing TikTok videos. It's weird. Now, if you would have gone down this way, right down that way, there was a Warhammer store. Now, for those of you who don't know what Warhammer is, it's not surprising. Not a lot of people do. It's a bunch of...
It's got so much fucking lore.
Oh, yeah, it's got a lot... It's basically miniatures, and you paint them, and then you pretend to play war with them. Now, I've never really been into it, but...
it's a tabletop game.
It's a tabletop game, but it's
like D&D.
Similar, I guess. But it's basically miniatures. And so it's been on the news a lot because Henry Cavill, he's a massive Warhammer guy, and he's going to be... doing this Warhammer movie. And so I saw the Warhammer store and I was like, you know what? I'll check it out. Maybe I'll buy a figurine. Maybe I'll get into this.
Henry Cavill is just trying to be the personification of the Giga Chat meme at this point.
I guess. So I go into the store. I grab one that seems like it looks cool. It's the most fucking expensive thing I've seen in my entire life for a miniature. And we were in Japan. They got a bunch of really cool stuff that you can get for really cheap. I got a bunch of these things for really cheap.
Well, it's probably an import.
And that's what I thought. So but at that moment I was like, you know what? This is not a hobby that's for me. This is a hobby that is too expensive for me. I'd rather buy a video game. I'd rather buy these stupid collectibles. I'd rather buy a book. But yeah, not so much. But the point is, fun fact, there's a Warhammer store there.
I still want to get into Warhammer.
Look at the miniatures. Look at this guy. He's having the time of his life. This is before he got sick.
This was the happiest moment of my life.
Yeah, so Akihabara's got a bunch of stores. It's got a bunch of dolls like that. We went to Shibuya. This is the statue of Hashiko. For those of you who don't know, Hashiko is maybe seen the movie Hachi. It's the story of the dog that it's a Japanese Akita. I'm sorry. That it always went to that station to drop off his owner, and then he'd wait there for him to... Would he go back when the owner came back from work and he'd pick him up and stuff? And one day the owner died, but the dog kept going there every single day, and so he kind of became famous for that, for being the most loyal dog ever. So There you go.
Fuck, it got to me.
Yeah. And I went to a zoo. We randomly found a zoo. Like, that's the only picture I took. But I took a bunch of pictures, but this is like the only one that I'll show you.
Oh, is it the one that was by Ueno Park?
Yeah.
Yeah, we remember those.
Yeah, so we went to that zoo, and then we went to the Museum of Natural History. There's a bunch of museums in Ueno Park. I went to the one of Natural History because I like dinosaurs. And I saw there was a T-Rex skeleton. I was like, I want to see it. That looks neat. So I went in there. I saw it. I saw all these bunch of dinosaurs. It was great. Awesome. Perfect. And then I go into... It's got a bunch of different levels. So the lowest level... It's basically like... history-wise, like the ancient stuff, and then like not so ancient, and so on and so forth.
It's all really fucking ancient.
And then we reach like the main level, which would be where you come in. So when you come in, you go down and you start going up, and we reach the main level. It's like, all right, let's see what they got here. And I walk in and I find this beautiful bastard. You just walk in and it's looking right at you. For those of you who don't know this and who are like, oh, that looks kind of like a T-Rex, but smaller. That is... Sure, that's a fair description, but that is an Allosaurus, or an Allosaur, my favorite dinosaur. So I walk in there and I see it. It's just looking at me. I wasn't expecting it. This is not the dinosaur section. I've never even heard of a full skeleton being anywhere because I haven't really ever looked it up because it's not really that famous of a dinosaur, and it's just looking at me. And I'm like, I see it, and I'm like, no, it can't be. It can't be. So it's one of those things, like, I take a video, I take pictures that are slowly moving around, and I don't want to look at the name. Because if this thing is, I don't know, like a freaking Suchomimus or something. I know it's not a Suchomimus, by the way.
Gyrosaurus.
If it's whatever else, I'm going to be disappointed. Like if it's a Carnotaur, I know it's not a Carnotaur because it would have horns. It's not, and no, it's not a Suchomimus because it doesn't have like the long snout, okay? Whatever. But it's the first name that came to my mind. And like, I'll just be disappointed. And I walk around, I take this picture, like, all right, looks really cool. And I look down at the name, and it's right there, Allosaur. And I can't tell you the feeling. It's one of those things, like, magic happened, and I did not expect it. Like, the child in me was so happy. And I know, I get it. This is stupid. Eric's looking at me like, you're stupid, you're a nerd.
No, I'm just liking that a Japanese guy just absolutely, like, posing hard.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just one of those things that, like, magic happens. Like a mountain pops up when you're not expecting to see it, or you weren't hopeful. Like, it was probably one of my favorite moments of the trip, and I get it. It's silly, but I don't give a fuck. All right, it was important to me. I loved it. I enjoyed it. And again, the whole museum's really cool. They got a bunch of skeletons, a bunch of different things. One of these two is it's not, what is it? It's in Jurassic World. No, it's not Megalodon. That's the shark. Damn it. I'm blanking out on the name. This is going to bug me.
You know how bad you are with Japanese names?
Yes.
This is me with dinosaurs.
Oh, I'll remember eventually. But whatever. The point is, it's the water one, the giant water one that comes out in the new...
The Megalodon.
No, that's a shark.
The Indominus Rex.
No. And so next...
The Gundam.
We go see the Gundam. So there's a giant Gundam in Tokyo, life-size Gundam, and at this point, I need you to remember, I am only with 2 girls. Eric is gone, and so I had to talk
in more ways than one.
And so I had to talk 2 girls into going to see a giant Gundam. Now, first off, I had to explain what the hell a Gundam is. Second, I had to explain why it's cool.
And third, only I have seen Gundam.
And third, it's one of those things like, man, this is a hard sell. So I had to convince them about all the other stuff that's around, because there's a bunch of other stuff. They did not care, and they were not excited. But there's a lot. The area where the Gundam is, there's a bunch of really cool stuff. There's a thing called the Rainbow Bridge, which is the bridge where they put like rainbow colors at the bottom at night. There's the Statue of Liberty, which we did not expect to find there. There's a bunch. It's a really great area. They loved being there, but having to sell to go see the Gundam was really hard, unnecessarily. But look at this freaking beauty. Look at that beast. Can you imagine that thing running at you to kill you? Beautiful.
I love it.
Took my favorite picture of the entire trip there. Look at that.
Also, it looks like easier to stand.
Well, yes, but I want to Photoshop this thing out of the way and put a helmet there. It's like I went with the freaking the pilot pose. Like that's how they usually stand. So like I'm gonna do some Photoshop in there later. Right. But yeah, It's really cool. Honestly, it's really, really awesome. And again, the area is great. So you're not just going to go and see the giant Gundam. There's a bunch of really great stuff to see there. So if you're ever there with your girls and stuff, you can easily convince them. We went to see the Gundam store where they sell every single Gundam ever.
Again, only I've seen Gundam.
But I had to buy some stuff because the deals here are phenomenal. Like, I was trying to make up my mind which one I'm going to get because I saw one that immediately caught my eye. I was like, I want this one. And because I know it's expensive. And I mean, not expensive there. I mean, expensive here in America. And my girlfriend...
Dario has this thing where he pretends he's going to resell stuff.
And my girlfriend was like, well, no, like, why, because you said you weren't going to spend money, because I'm a liar.
Yeah.
I'm a fool. They had this little machine that, you put $4 in it and you spin it and you get a little Gundam that comes out. And so supposedly that's the one that looks like the one outside. It comes in different colors. So I was like, Eric mentioned that he wanted to start a Gundam collection. And so...
Not a Gundam collection, but I wanted the original Gundam, because I'd recently watched the original Gundam series. So I was like, yeah, it's cool. I like it.
So I was like, all right.
It's iconic.
And so I was like, all right, I'm going to spin this thing here. I'm going to get Eric a Gundam. However, this is the rule. If the red one comes out, like the one outside, I'm keeping it, and I'm not buying another Gundam. I get there.
So this is why I didn't get a Gundam, huh?
Yeah, I spin it, and out comes a red Gundam. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. I got the one that I wanted. And then I was like, man, I still want that gold one. That one, gold was still looking pretty good. And my girlfriend's like, no, you said you weren't. But I was like, check this out. And so I go into, I show her the price. And then I go into Amazon. And I show her, like, this is what it would cost on Amazon. And it's 3 times the price. So if I didn't buy it there, it was like I was going to lose money. I was going to lose money if I don't buy it.
So that's why I didn't get a Gundam.
And that's why...
I don't like the story anymore.
Man, I was there. I was like, man, Eric would love this. So I should get him something. And
he's feeling bad right now.
Because I could have just got another one in the little same thingy, but I didn't want you to have the same one. So that's why you didn't get a Gundam. Anyway, it's a great store. And honestly, building the thing is pretty cool. It's a fun little thing. You can hang out.
I can see why people get into like the whole
miniature,
even painting them. I would get into that.
Yeah. So okay, this is the Rainbow Bridge, but it hadn't turned on the lights. Again, you get to see Tokyo Bay here, and there you go, Lady Liberty herself. Now, obviously, it's not big enough that you can actually go inside. It's like a miniature one, but it's there.
Was this one also made by the French?
I think so. And like there you go. So again, this is a hell of a view. And going there, you're riding on the train, so you get to see like the river and everything. And we got there while it was still light, so it's great. The girls loved it. Beautiful, great, a bunch of stuff to do, and they just complained the entire time there. We were like, well, we don't want to go see a robot, whatever. When they're there, they would love it. So great. And finally, the final thing that's there is this building. So if you can see it right here, you see that big circle thing there? I took a picture of it because if you guys saw the original Digimon, and you remember when they're in the real world and War Greymon and Metal Garurumon are fighting whatever the villain's name there is, I don't remember. Myotismon. You remember the giant ball that they used to kick his ass? I think this is it. And if it's not it, it looks just like it, and I think it's in the exact same spot. So there you go. I took a picture of it. So you're welcome. Anyway, the point is, really cool area. Overall, great trip. Great trip for me.
I really enjoyed it.
I had a great time.
I had a phenomenal time. I enjoyed my little adventures.
Sure. Great.
It was nice, just sort of, I don't know.
When's the next one?
It's weird being all by yourself in a country like Japan.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
No, but it's weird, but I loved it. Because it's one of those things that's like, wow, I can kind of be really different here, and it doesn't matter. Because, one, these people don't know me. They're not going to recognize me. And I can just try out different stuff, you know? Be like, I'm going to get into, like, this little restaurant, and I'm going to, like, talk to the people on the next table. See what happens.
Sure.
And, you know, or just, like, try to talk to the waiter or the person at the bar or something. Just someone on the street.
Yeah, no, to me, it's one of those things, like, I've always, like, my girlfriend doesn't believe me because I have resting bitch face. But for some reason, people like talking to me.
And
I don't know why.
And he opens his mouth and confirms it.
Sure. Hey, fuck you. Anyway, so it's one of the, people talk to me. I don't know why. I have one of those faces, I guess. But people like walking up to me and starting up conversations. I don't know why. But I enjoy it, especially when I'm on vacation and I have a drink in my hand. So I don't mind going by myself. I've gone to myself to Argentina. I've gone by myself to Japan there for a week. I was planning on going by myself to Europe, but Eric tagged along. So, like, I don't mind going by myself. It's fun. And also, you know, you get, like, the wildest stories because you end up being forced to do things that you normally would not do. Because you're interacting with people you normally don't know.
Yeah.
So, it's great. You
can barely talk
get
to
out of
him.
your comfort zone. But overall, like I said, great trip. Great chicken.
Phenomenal.
Great sights. And I highly recommend it because it's actually not really that expensive. If you can get a cheap ticket, it's actually pretty cool. And also, I bought this shirt, which is awesome.
Oh, nice. Is that Kamen Rider?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, they're doing a thing. Like, I bought this one in an Evangelion shirt because they're finally releasing the final Evangelion movie. They're finally releasing it on Blu-ray, so they were doing a thing for that. And they were doing a Kamen Rider thing because they're making a new Kamen Rider. And so, like, all right, cool. And I like the color. So there you go.
Plus the cool name, Kamen Rider.
Yes. So there you go. That was our trip to Japan 2023. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully you had fun listening to our silly adventures.
Almost 2 hours. Hot dog.
Yeah, it was long. And it's, what, 2 a.m.?
And we skipped a lot of stuff, too, I'd say.
What we skip?
Well, we didn't talk about the geishas.
Well, the geisha district, yeah. I mean, do you want to say something about the geishas?
Not really.
All
Well, we
right.
didn't talk about it.
Fair enough. So, again, as always, any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can find me at Dario SDW and at Super Dario World on Instagram. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out. I'm supposed to say it. And again, like I said earlier, I restarted the book summary podcast. You can find that on YouTube at the Book Summary Podcast. And so check it out. Again, I'm going through Avatar: The Last Airbender, The Promise. That's a story that picks up after the end of the animated series. It's great. It's a lot of fun. It's basically a summary of it, so check it out. I'm aiming to do a new episode every week. If I can do more, I'll do more, but again, it takes time and my life is busy. And I'm kind of barely starting to get a schedule going. It's starting to work out. I have a private studio. I can record whenever I want, so we'll see how it goes.
It's not a bad setup.
Right? It's nice, right?
I don't like me sitting here, though.
It's not perfect.
We need to fix
Again,
that.
we need like, I'm gonna bring in the couch whenever we get like the bigger couch out there. I'm gonna do something with the lights because I want them to be able to see the miniatures. Got a lot of them. Some of them are pretty cool.
You got any naked ones?
No, I don't, because I couldn't be on YouTube.
Not based.
Not based. Anyway, as always, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you again next time.